You were born a drug and alcohol addicted baby, and then you were immediately taken to foster care. What impact or role did this play in how you see life and like who you are today?
Man, that's a great question and a good one to start with. I would probably say at first, it was kind of negative in terms of I thought because of the way that I grew up, I thought of because of the situation I came in, I always felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I always had to prove something to the world. And then later on, I used like that was almost like a superpower because I always felt like I wasn't good enough or I had to prove something to the world. I then used that to get really good at sports, and that was kind of my outlet. I realized, wow, if I exceed in sports, I would get the attention, I would get the praise from men, women, adults, kids, everybody. So I actually used that to my advantage. So at first, I think it was kind of I looked at the negative side of it, but as I got older, I learned to look at the positive side of it for sure.
Does it affect you in any way today or
No, definitely not in a negative way. Actually, I'm very grateful for my past. I use that as a way because we're it's very easy to find the wrong in life or how bad our life was or how hard we have it. So I actually can use that. I can use my story to identify with other people. I can use my story to kind of shed light on someone who's maybe going through a dark time or a hard time where they think their situation is so terrible. And I said, okay, let me tell you a little bit about mine. And again, not that mine is the worst story in the world or it's horrible. No, it's just my story. But I think at the end of the day, we all have a story, and we learn to use that uh, in the positive. When we learn to look at the positive side of that, it's super powerful. Super powerful.
did you have any wondering about your real parents or any yearning to find them or anything like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I went through that stage. I was probably I don't know, maybe 10, 11. I kind of went through that stage where I was
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, where I was like,
That's
okay,
pretty young.
yeah, where I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Well, let me kind of say this as well. So I was adopted. I ended up getting adopted, and I ended up getting adopted by a Caucasian family. So, very quickly I realized like,
Like, wait,
okay,
what's going on? We
yes,
don't look the same.
yeah, something's going on here. And my parents were always very upfront with me anyway. They never tried to
Mm,
hide anything from me. They never tried to no, they
I think that's how it should be, honestly.
yeah,
You shouldn't be like trying to um like put a facade on.
yeah, I agree. So they were very upfront, and when I came to them and said I was curious and said I wanted to know, they helped me, start tracking down brothers and sisters. They helped me start tracking down people. But once I started figuring out finding people, I was like, I'm good. I'm good.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good. So, I'm still in I do still talk to some of my biological brothers, some of my biological sisters. Um,
What about your parents?
no,
Your
my mom actually
biological parents?
my biological mom ended up passing away. I don't know how many years ago. It was several years ago. Never really had no relationship with her at all. I didn't know who my biological father ever was. Yeah,
Really?
I never knew who he was, but never really had an interest. I don't think it was really so much interest with my mom, biological mom. It was more my siblings that I think I kind of
Mm.
wanted a relationship with, not my biological mom. I had a lot of resentment for a very long time towards her for a very long time.
Your biological mom?
Yeah, yeah. Took me a while. I was well into being adult. It wasn't actually until I had kids and my kids were it's actually my daughter that made me realize like, let me give her some grace, because I realized what it was like to have kids. And, as a
Mhm.
parent, I don't know if you have kids or not, but as
Yeah,
a
I
parent,
do.
you do the best that you can, the best that you know how to do. And depending on how you're
Yeah.
raised, your situation, that's going to look totally different for different people. So it was at that point when
Yeah.
I actually, unfortunately, she was passed away at that time, so I never got to tell her this. But she had a lot of other choices she could have did. She could have went and got an abortion. She could have done a lot of stuff, but she chose to have me. So I did forgive her, and I don't hold it against her. I'm very grateful she made the choice she did. But that one took a lot of growing up for me to realize that.
I see it as actually, was it, do you think it was her choice to put you in foster care, or was it?
Uh, I don't. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, if you're struggling with drugs, struggling with alcohol addiction, I would imagine your kid's probably taken from you as soon as you have birth.
Mm,
So I don't know. I don't know if it was her choice. I don't know. I know when you get involved, drugs are nasty, man. Drugs are a terrible, terrible thing, and they make people do horrible things.
irrational
Yeah,
things, yeah.
irrational things. They turn people into people other than they are. So I never had the
Yeah.
chance to ask her what happened. I don't want to speculate what happened. I can say this: I am grateful for the way things happened and the way that things played out, for sure, for sure. But it took a lot of growing up to get to that point. Yeah, it took a lot of growing up to get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see it as a daily thing,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
Just practicing your daily gratitude and reflecting on
yeah.
who you are.
And I think it's not a situation. Again, my situation maybe a little bit extreme, so giving up for adoption, but I think that feeling of abandonment that can happen in a
Yeah.
household with both parents are there. It's just one parent is off working,
Yeah.
trying to provide, trying to
That's true.
bring home the bills. The kid doesn't know any different. So to
Mhm.
the kid could feel just as abandoned, just as lost. And again, honestly, this is how I realized it with
Mm.
my daughter because I spent my older daughter, I have a daughter, she's 21 years old. When she was
Oh,
younger, I
wow.
spent probably the good majority of her life trying to build a business. And,
Mm.
financially, I would always be there, but time-wise, I wasn't there as much as I should have been or I would have liked to be. And it presented almost the
Yeah.
same scenario. It ended up doing almost exactly the same thing. And that's why I was like, wow, here I am trying to
Yeah.
provide a better life for my kids. But again, I'm still dropping the ball over here. And I didn't realize that until, so yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was for me growing up. With my mom was a single mom of, and there was four of us, and she was she was working two jobs and just trying to provide for us,
Yeah.
and we never really seen her like that. Um, but we took it for granted growing up because we also had resentment because we were like, we were just ungrateful that she was basically providing for us. But it's understandable because as kids we don't really understand the finance side of it, of things. But at the same time we were resentful because we felt like we couldn't connect on a emotional,
Yeah.
psychological level
Yeah.
with our mom, which we still don't really
Yeah.
like to even today. Like we're all 30 plus years old and we still can't really connect with her on certain topics and deeper levels.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to really, bring that point home, even though my story may seem a little different. Probably even just like yourself, you can understand and you
Mhm.
can relate to those things. And I think it can even be more of a disconnect where it's like sometimes as a parent, because again, I'm sure she was just doing all she knew. She's trying to
Doing the
survive.
best with what you had,
Yeah, like
right?
she's just like, and until you get to a point of maturity where you can say, like, no, maybe I succeeded in this area, but I dropped the ball over here. And that's hard to do because, and so if she never gets to the point, and I don't know if she has, where she's like, okay, yes, I understand, financially doing what you had to do, but you dropped the ball over here. You just did. And until you admit that, you kind of have this like back and forth. And I think no matter how old we get as kids because you're always going to be her child. You know, it's like, okay, you're still
Yeah.
the adult, like, you know. So it can get tricky. It really can.
Yeah, because you will always be the son or
Yeah.
the daughter or the parent or whatever.
Yeah. So sometimes I
Um,
mean, just a simple. You're right. I messed up. I was doing this over
See,
here.
but that's hard. That's hard.
It's hard, but that
That's hard for um, people who have narcissistic tendencies. Um, the people that think they know it all, people who are in denial.
yeah,
That's hard for them to like. It's one of those things that's easier said than done.
it
Where
is.
it's like,
You're
yeah,
right.
you could just admit it, but what does that do to your ego? You have to let go of this ego, proud, pride, whatever feeling that you get, and just let it go.
You're right. You're spot on. And there's nothing easy about doing it. But it's like, okay, well, do you want to be like this with your kids and never have that relationship? Or do you want to
Yeah.
just humble yourself and, because and again, I've went through that. I had to do that with my very own daughter who I gave the world. I worked sun up to sundown to
Yeah.
provide, and I never told her no for anything when it came to from financially. But you know what? I got to a
Mm.
point I said, okay, because I probably went like 2, 3 years and we didn't talk after she graduated. We just didn't talk. And
What, from high school?
yeah, so from high school to just recently, really, and I had to
Wow.
go back and I messed up. I messed up. I dropped the ball, but it was very hard. And I think if I probably wouldn't have did that, I don't think I would have probably talked to my daughter for
Who
who
knows?
knows, maybe never, to be honest. Because I do. My ego was, yeah,
Really?
because I was hurt. Because I'm like, here I am. Like, you got to understand, I did like,
Like, I work my ass off.
yeah, 15
Yeah.
years of sun up to sundown, not coming home, giving everything I had, everything I had. So it was very humbling, but I was like, nah, I would much rather have a relationship with my daughter than do that.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta put that aside.
Yeah,
And the way I look at it is what's really gonna happen,
yeah,
you know?
but-
Like I'm not afraid to make a fool of
yeah.
myself. Like I think nobody should be afraid to make a fool of themselves.
Yeah, but I can
And
already tell by you said something earlier. You said, you talked about
mhm,
giving gratitude and talking,
mhm.
which that lets me know you've worked on yourself. Like you're not. We've only been talking for a couple minutes, but anybody who's talking about gratitude or gratitude journals, this and that, like, all right, you've done some level of personal development work. Where is
Yeah.
it when if you haven't done that? I don't know if people can get to that point. Without personal development, there's
Mm,
no way I ever could have gotten to that point, ever.
you think
So I,
so?
I know 100% so because the school system doesn't teach you these things. They don't. I mean, you have to. Personal development has been a huge part of who I am and where I am, and I think
Same.
probably the overwhelming majority of people don't do that. And if you,
You think so?
I don't think. No, no, no. When you look at the population as a whole, now again,
Yeah, like out of 8 billion people, how many people do you think
not a lot.
really practice personal development,
No, not a lot.
mindset and
Not
stuff?
a lot. And because what happens is, because I caught what you said, you're like, really? You think so? Yeah, because what
Yeah.
happens is once you go down that path of personal development, now you start hanging around other people that are on that path. So probably in your life,
Oh.
you're probably right. In your life, probably right now, probably not a lot. So it kind of sounds weird. Like, why wouldn't you do personal development? Well, you went down this
Mm.
path. Everybody else, majority of the world is down this path over here. So I would say,
I
go
think
ahead.
yeah, I think majority of the world is just surviving,
Yeah, I think the
you
closest
know?
people get to, personal development without like calling it personal development, I don't think they even know it's personal development, but I would say like religion does that for a lot of people. It's their form of, personal development.
Reflection and
Yeah,
growth and
yeah,
guidance.
It can see, and I say that because I got saved just a couple years ago, but I was doing personal development way before that. So after I got saved and I started, reading the Bible and going that way, I was like, it was saying the same. A lot of it was exactly the same thing. So it was a very easy like transition. It was very easy for me to start understanding this stuff because it was all principles and lessons I had already learned through personal development.
I think where religion is different because this is like the argument with like the atheism.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, I could be a good person without any of that, whatever you believe in.
Yeah,
Um, but I think one of the main differences is if you ever feel alone, if you ever feel alone or like you don't have anybody, having a faith or religion helps you not feel alone.
yeah,
It helps you um you have the power of God within you or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, I think you're always going to have um, an emptiness
Mhm.
without God. You'll always have that. Now that doesn't mean you're always going to feel empty, but I don't think
Yeah, yeah.
you can still have good times and this and that, but at the end of the day, there'll be times of extreme loneliness, and it doesn't matter. Everything around you could be seen perfect. Like you could be in a perfect relationship. You could have all the money. You could have like you could have everything, all the worldly things, but then you're gonna still have this sense of emptiness, and I think that's why you'll
Mhm.
see a lot of celebrities or famous people. They end up unfortunately committing suicide, and a lot of times it's like they got everything that they thought was going to make them happy, and none of it ever did. You know? So
Have you seen the scandals going on right now?
which one? There's a lot. There's a lot.
um, well, I heard the P Diddy one
Yeah.
and the Justin Bieber one.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on with the whole P Diddy thing. There's a lot of
All I
allegations.
heard was there's a lot of baby oil somewhere.
Yeah, which I don't think that's actually baby oil because that doesn't make any sense. Like I think this is just my assumption. I mean, it's just assumption. I think it's drugs.
Mm.
I don't think that's baby oil because why would it? I mean, I don't care. Like even if you're doing some freaky stuff,
There was so many memes on
1,000
this.
bottles of bait. Like I think it's drugs.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, because think about it. I mean, everybody still to this
Slip and
day
slide.
is thinking it's baby oil. Like nobody is thinking it's anything else. But if you were to stop
Hmm.
and think about it, what is probably more likely? Even if you are like doing the freakiest stuff ever, 1,000 bottles of baby oil or drugs?
Yeah, it would make more sense.
Because
Um,
no one's even still guessing this drug. Like people, because I don't know if you remember that guy that got caught a couple years ago by the police, and they were interviewing him, and he basically everything that they're saying Puffy did, he was saying. They just thought he was crazy because it all sounded like so far fetched.
that's how that's how everything is. That's how conspiracy theories are. People
Yeah,
like,
I was talking to my wife about this,
yeah.
and I was telling her almost now it's to the point anytime I hear a conspiracy theory, anytime anybody uses that word, I almost just accept that, okay, that's the truth. Because it's
Mm,
just over the last, I don't know how long it's been, 10 years. I really started noticing this after COVID. I don't want to say the word,
COVID.
yeah. After that, because everything was a conspiracy theory, but about a year or 2 years later, it becomes true. It becomes
Oh
true.
yeah, all of the conspiracy theories during the pandemic. Um, a lot of those became actually true now,
Yeah.
4 years later.
I remember when
Yeah.
Trump started saying, like, I remember when he first started saying fake news. And I was like, what is fake news? And everybody thought he was just being stupid. Like, fake news. What is a fake news? Like,
Mm.
now look, there's so much like fake
It's
news.
because people don't question it.
Yeah.
That's Yeah, I was literally just talking to this about with my brother about misinformation
Yeah.
because it's like a lot of in politics they're like, oh, we need to uh cancel people or what's it called, like uh where they somebody posts something and they delete it, or what's it called, censorship.
Censorship. Yeah. Censorship.
Censorship.
Yes.
Like, oh, we need to censor stuff, but it's like that. So firstly, that goes against the free speech
Yeah.
amendment, and then why would you censor misinformation? Because so it'd be like, okay, let's censor this misinformation. Then how would you know what is true or not
Correct.
if you just censor everything?
Correct.
So then, okay, who's to say what's misinformation or not
Correct. So
if you just censor everything?
so this was the thing, and again, this I don't want to make this about a Trump thing or anything. It's not. It's just there's just so many examples with him. So he's a good person to use. So whether you like him or not, whatever, it's just a good example. I remember when he was the acting president and they banned him from all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, all
Yeah,
of that. And everybody was like, yeah, like get him off. And I'm thinking in my head, hold on, because up to that point, nobody ever gotten kicked off social media or banned. That
canceled.
didn't
Yeah,
cancel. That didn't exist. So I was like, if they can take the president of the United
president.
States and kick him out and not give him no, because if they boot you off social media, you really don't have a voice. So I'm like,
Mm,
what is that to say for like you or me? So whether you like this man or not, this is not something to be applauding about. And sure
mhm.
enough, like now you say the wrong thing, boom, you're gone. So that's a very scary thing, you know. I don't. I'm not for censorship. I'm not for,
Me either.
you know. No, no, I'm not for
You
that at
need
all.
to see the truth. It's basically the truth. It's like, why are we censoring? Even if it's hate speech, like people, I think people should just see
Yeah,
everything.
you should just scroll past it. If you don't like it, don't look at it. But I don't want, because here's the problem when you start censoring people. Where do you draw the line? Because something that
Hmm.
could offend you, it don't offend me. Something that might
Hmm.
offend this person, it don't offend me. You know, so it's like, okay, where do we draw the line here? And who's making up the rules?
I think you draw the line where whenever something really just gets illegal,
Yeah,
like
correct.
if it's really just like if you're threatening somebody's life online or um, doing anything illegal, drug
Yeah,
deals on like where people can blatantly see that, then yeah,
yeah.
that's where you draw the line.
There you go.
But people like you could say anything's hate speech nowadays. Oh,
Correct.
you didn't say my
Yeah.
pronoun. That's hate
And
speech.
that's happening. See, that's the thing that's starting to happen. Well, I mean, that's been happening. Where it's like, yeah, I'm not really cool with that. Like, I don't care what you, I mean, believe, say whatever you want to say. But like, I agree. Like, if something is someone's breaking the law or something like that, someone you're, you know, you're putting someone's life in danger. Like, you're really like,
Mm,
then okay, let's do that's different. But a
mm.
lot of putting people's life in danger, like it just, I don't like the way it's
That's
going.
not really common.
Yeah, it's very scary the way things are
People
going.
are getting canceled not for that reason.
Correct. Correct. It's like if I don't like what you say, well, I'll just cancel you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where the
That's really
problem
more like it
is.
is. I don't agree with you, so I'm going to cancel you.
Yeah. Um, so growing up, you were adopted and then you got into sports.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to pursue pro football?
Yeah. So I originally started with basketball. That was like my first love, and then
Hmm.
because I was very tall, I hit a growth spurt very early on. I've literally been the same height since fifth grade. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I was 6 feet tall in fifth grade, and dunking in
Damn.
like fifth grade. It was crazy. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to the NBA. This is gonna be easy. But then I never grew. So by the time I hit, yeah,
Uh,
I never grew. So I'm thinking I'm gonna be like at least like 6'8", 6'9", 6'10".
So you maxed out
Maxed out in fifth grade.
at 5th grade.
Yeah, it was wild.
That's crazy.
And so in eighth grade, by that time, kids are starting to catch up to me. And at that point, I had only played center because people thought I was going to be, I don't know, humongous. So I didn't have like the ball dribbling skills. I couldn't shoot like I needed to shoot. And then I was like, this isn't going to work. And then at high school, one of the football coaches came over and he said, look, you can continue to play basketball and maybe you might get a Division II scholarship. Or he said, you can come play football and I can get you a Division I scholarship. I was like, say less. And that's when I started playing football. And then from there, went to college. I ended up going to the University of Central Florida for like not probably the right reasons, but that's where I went. And
What were the reasons?
women, literally women. I
I mean,
literally,
isn't that aren't they everywhere though?
well, so what it is, I don't know if you've ever been like recruited or experienced that or whatever, which first of all, it's the coolest experience ever, which at the time I thought everyone went through it. So I thought it was like normal.
What is it?
When you're getting recruited out of high school to go to college.
Oh, recruited from a
Yeah.
college or a
Yeah.
university.
Super cool experience. But at the time I didn't realize it. So I was getting recruited I was good at football. So I took a visit to the University of Florida, University of Miami, Florida State, and then University of Michigan. University of Florida, University of Miami. Yeah, you have 5 visits. And then so I had one more left. And at that time, I'd never even heard of the University of Central Florida.
Hmm.
Because at that time, it wasn't even that big of a school. I mean, it was big, but nobody knew it. It wasn't known for football. And then so I was like, hey, I know a girl in Orlando because they fly you down, they put you in a hotel when you go. So I was like, I'll just go down there and see the girl and do whatever in school.
Oh, is that so? You're Florida based
Yeah,
or
I'm
what?
Florida based.
Okay.
And I didn't want to go anywhere where it's cold. The only reason I thought about Michigan is just because we're from Michigan and my family, like, no one's ever played at Michigan. So that's the only reason I
Hmm.
took that trip. So, anyways, I go to the trip, and then normally when you go on the trip, they have one of the players kind of shows you around, and you probably do things that a high school kid should do when you come on a visit. But it was not like that when I went to Central Florida. It was like,
What?
I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Blue Chips. You ever seen? It's an old movie. Anyways, it was not like that. Let's just say that it was not like that. It was a lot of stuff happening that probably should not be happening, and I was just,
Like fraternity stuff?
yeah, you could along the lines of that. Like, just imagine you go into a room
Yeah.
and just imagine you're in high school and then first of all, the player that hosts you, they give them money to take you out for food and have a good time. Well, they don't give the player the money. The player's supposed to use that on the recruit. Well, the guy that was hosting me gave me the money. He just handed me it. First of all, which was different. I was like, okay, this is cool. And then like when I went
Yeah.
in my hotel, because they put you up in a hotel, normally there's no one in the hotel when you go to the hotel. When I opened my door, when I went out my visit, there was women in my hotel. It was just a different experience. We'll just say that. So I was just like, I'll go here. So I was committed to go to Florida at that time, changed it up, went to University of Central Florida, and that's how I ended up there. But my dad, he was mad.
So he sold you, your recruiter sold you on the idea that you can have fun
Yeah,
here
it was living
with.
living your best life. Yeah, this is where to come. So again, I'm 18-year-old kid. I don't know no better. I was like, we'll go here. So my family, needless to say, my family was
uh,
very upset, very very upset because I walked away from because I had verbally committed to go to University of Florida at that time.
mm,
So they couldn't obviously they couldn't understand. They're like, why would you? What are you doing?
you never got a recruiter um for the University of Florida
No, I
or.
did. So how it works is you have your official signing day, but you can
Mhm,
commit to where you're going early. So it's kind of like as the recruit, I'm verbally committing, like, hey, I'm gonna go. When signing day
mhm.
comes, I'm gonna sign with you. So I'm like committing to Florida, but there's an official signing day.
So how was your college experience?
It was cool. Well, first of all, it was not like the recruiting. It was crazy, but it wasn't like it was. I will say it wasn't always that. College was cool. I learned a lot in college, but I got through. I was like in my second year, and I realized, at that time I had two kids already, and I was,
Yeah, I seen you. You had your first kid at
yeah,
17. Is
17.
that accurate?
Yeah. So I had two kids by this time, and I just was like, I was kind of getting a lot of pressure from my daughter's mom. And then I was like, you know what? I need to go start taking care of these kids. So I literally walked away from a full ride scholarship.
You didn't think you could do it all, or what?
It was just, again, I was dumb. I was just dumb. There's no other way probably to say it besides I was dumb. I was hard headed.
Really?
Um, I was just dumb. I probably should have stayed in one place. Probably a good chance I could have made it to the league, I think. But, everything happens for a reason. And I walked away. Walked away.
And when you walked away, what was the next thing that you did?
After that, I got a job. I ended up getting a job at the airport. I'm just bounced from job to job, trying to figure things out. I started working at the airport. Then from there, I went into car sales. From there, I went into insurance sales. And at that point, that was the last job I had. Then I was like, I don't want to do this whole working for somebody thing.
Sales.
And not sales. I had no problem with sales. I just didn't want to work for anybody. I realized like I wanted to go down an entrepreneur route. Like I didn't.
that's that's the that's how you know a lot of people are they have that entrepreneurial spirit in them if they have this feeling that they just maybe you're not good with authority, maybe you don't like to be told what to do, or maybe you just don't foresee yourself working for somebody else.
I think for me, I've always been the type of person, and I've been like this since. Which again, I don't want to be someone that comes on here and is like, "Oh, everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are great." No, no, no. Everybody does not need to be an entrepreneur, and I don't think a lot of people's blood pressure could handle being an entrepreneur. Like let me be very
Yeah.
blunt and frank, because for a long time, like social media glorified entrepreneurship, which
Oh
you know,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah. I
saying
seen
it's a
that.
bad thing because I love it. I would do no other, but it is not for everybody. It is 100% not for everybody. But for me, I was
Mm.
always that person, and still to this day, I would always ask, like, okay, well, if you're paying me $15 an hour, well, then how much are you making? Or if you're paying
Yeah.
me
You would
70,
question it.
yeah,
You would
because I'm like, how
question.
do I do what you do?
Yeah.
And so I was always trying to, like, I'm like, okay, well, how do I do? And that started at a young age. So I started my first business. I was 13 years old. I started my first business, a lawn care business. This is when I knew that physical labor wasn't for me. So I went out, started cutting lawns. And I was like, well, wait a second, this is dumb. So I was like, what I did was I would get the lawns, and then I hired my friends to cut the lawns. So I would just go get all the lawns, and then they would pay
Yeah.
me, and then I would just give my friends a little cut of it. And that was 13 years old. Always been like that. So
And now what do you do?
and I do online training. So I'm online training. I work with men, teaching men how to really actually be men. Yeah, lose
How do
weight.
we be men?
Yeah, no. Well, first we start with their body. Getting them in shape. A lot of men, unfortunately, carry a lot of extra weight. Once we get the weight off, if they have weight to lose, get them in the gym, put some muscle on them, get some confidence in them. I think it's important. There's so many benefits to getting in shape um,
Mhm.
that I don't think a lot of people realize. It's not just about having a six pack and having big muscles. No, it's not about that.
Mhm.
The gym is a controlled environment to put your body under stress, to get you used to doing hard things, to challenge yourself, to overcome obstacles. And all of that
Yeah.
stuff translates into everyday life. So typically what will happen is once I get someone on a program and they get going, they start getting the confidence, start overcoming all these things. We work on getting rid of their vices, whether it's alcohol, drugs, porn, whatever it is. We get over that. And that stuff starts translating into their everyday life. They start making more money. They start, going after their dreams. They start attacking their goals. they take a lead in the household, different things like that.
Well, from your experience, what do you think the best way to get over a vice is?
It's a great question. I would probably say the first thing is you have to understand it is a vice, that it has control over you.
Hmm.
I mean, that's step
Hmm.
number one. And I think as a man, yeah, you
Acknowledgement.
have to
Yeah.
acknowledge, like, okay, this thing has control over me. You have to acknowledge that. That's happened with me with alcohol. That's happened to me with porn. It happened to me with a lot of stuff where I was like, first you have to acknowledge, because you'd be like,
That's common for a lot of men.
yeah, you'd be like, ah, nah, 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 no, it has control over
Nah.
you. And it's not serving you. It's not. That's the
Yeah,
most important
yeah.
thing. It's not serving you. It's not helping you become the man that you need to be, the man that God intended you to be. And anytime something stands in the way between me and the man God intended me to be, I need to move it out the way immediately. I need to move it out the way.
Hmm.
And I just kind of take on that mindset. Okay, I just ask myself, is this standing in between the man that I want to be and that I need to be? And if it is, it's got to
Mm.
go. It's got to go.
How do you help people overcome that? Because it's just like we said in the beginning, it's easier said than done,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Well, I think first of all, it's instilling habits. It's all thought. It's your attitude first of all, because your
Hmm.
attitude are going to lead to your thoughts. Your thoughts are going to lead to your action. Your actions are going to lead to your results. So we just boil it down to basic things. It's like, okay, let's get you doing some daily habits, things that you do every single day, getting up every single day and reading something that's going to make you a better man. Getting you in a gym consistently, and then getting proper food in you consistently on a daily basis, right? Giving you some, so it's this handful of skill sets that we work on, and then again, those naturally just start translating into other, you know, parts of your life, because you're gonna just want to become better. It was probably like, I don't know how you got into personal development. Maybe you can share that, but once you start going down that route and you see it starts impacting your life for the good, you want more of it. It's the same thing when,
Yeah.
like, when you start getting in the gym, you start feeling yourself, you start pushing yourself, you're getting stronger, you're doing something that before you would just normally quit at, that you would give up on. Like, you start getting this
Hmm.
sense of confidence in yourself and this belief in yourself that's like, well, dang, maybe I'm stronger than I thought. And I don't mean from a physical standpoint, but like, you start like aligning with who.
You start trusting
Yeah.
yourself. I think that's the big one, especially for me, because in the past, I would always self sabotage or just give up,
Yeah.
or um, I think a lot of it had to deal with also figuring out what I wanted to do
Yeah.
when I grow up.
Hmm.
And I think it's okay to not know what you want to do,
Yeah.
even if you're kind of older. Um, like for me, for example, I think I got into personal development. I think it was a huge moment for me was my separation from my baby mama.
Hmm.
Um, like dealing with cheating and
Hmm.
infidelity. Because before that, I was kind of already in it. Like I started weightlifting in the 11th grade. So when I was 15, 16.
Hmm.
Before that, I was a super scrawny, short kid. Like I'm still short. I'm only 5'5", but before I started working out, I was like 100 pounds,
Yeah.
110 pounds. Now, like with muscle, I'm 150. I can
Nice.
get up to 160.
Nice.
But um, after the cheating and infidelity, it forced me to reflect on my mindset
Yeah.
more so than just the physical. Um, and that's when I started to do both.
Nice.
Uh, Focus on like meditation, reading, um, and mindset and physical.
Yeah. And it's super important when you start going down. And here's why I think, and I want to go back to what you said, because you said it's okay for you to not know what you want to do. which I agree with, and I'm going to tell you why most people don't know why they don't know what they want to do. They don't know what
Mm,
they want to do is because they don't know who they actually are. And if you don't know who you
mm.
actually are at your core, there's no way you can find your purpose. It's impossible. And for most people, we live in this, like we put on this facade, and it starts when we were kids. We had parents that told us we were a certain way, and they instilled their belief systems in us, our teachers, all our coaches, whoever we were around, and then you have society told you who you were. So we developed this fake person, and we're walking. We don't think it's fake. It's like,
Yeah,
but
we have a dependency on other people's perspectives of who we are, and we weren't taught how to reflect on who we want
correct. You
to
you were never
be.
taught how to think. To,
Yeah.
that's it's something which is wild that you don't get taught that in school. But no one ever taught you how to
Yeah.
actually think. No one told you how to sit with yourself and just sit with yourself. We're quick to
Mhm,
look outside, but we never look within. And you'll never
mhm,
ever find out who you are looking out there. You have to look within.
mhm.
So I went through this kind of with my wife, and I was talking to her, and she was asking me kind of like, "How do you do that?" And for a long time, I couldn't explain it. I'm like, I don't know. You just
How
start
do you do
peeling back,
what? Look
like,
within?
yeah, like you should just start peeling back the layers. And just, I couldn't articulate really what it was, but it's like I think that's the best kind of metaphor for it. It's like you have to start peeling back these
Mm,
layers that have been layered on year after year, and realize like, okay, what is really you and what's not you. And until you, I mean, there's a lot of junk that people have that it's not you. So you're telling yourself this one big lie. But once you figure out who you actually are, finding your purpose is easy because you're in alignment. You're in alignment with who God wanted you to be. Then it's easy. But until you do that, and that process is never done. At least I've been doing this a
yeah.
long time, and I've just realized because you'll get to the point you're like, I've arrived. I'm good. I know myself. And then like a little bit later, you're like, okay, I didn't know myself. And you'd be like, okay, I've made
Mm,
it. And you're like, okay, no, I haven't. Let me go a little deeper. And I've just accepted the fact, as long as we're on Earth, you're constantly on this journey of figuring out and fine tuning who you are and getting yourself in alignment.
yeah, I don't think you ever truly, um I don't think you ever stop
No,
discovering more of yourself, especially, you try new things, you have new experiences, you um have issues to deal with, you have relationships, it's forever.
yeah, because you start to realize the more you know, the more you don't know. That's a
Yeah.
very scary place
That's
when people are like,
they say that's what wisdom they say that's what true wisdom
yeah,
is coming to the conclusion that you don't know
yeah,
everything.
you don't know what you don't know. Like when
Yeah.
because you think about it, when you were younger, when every kid is young, especially males, we think we know everything. We legitimately do. And then it's like, because I remember
Yeah.
thinking that like in my 20s, like even as a
You
teenager,
mansplain. That's where the mansplaining comes
yeah,
from.
as a teenager, I thought I knew everything. And then you get in your 20s, you're like, oh no, no, no. When I was a teenager, I was dumb, but I know everything now. And then you turn 30
Mhm.
and you're like, oh, when I was in my 20s, I was an idiot. I didn't know anything. And you turn 40, you're like, now, like, at some point, you have to realize, like, no, 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 I really don't know anything, you know?
Yeah. I think that helps when you have that mindset, I think that helps you, uh, remain humble.
Yeah, it keeps you open to learn.
Mhm.
Once you close those doors, you no longer will learn. I actually,
Mm.
I've been going through this thing really on Facebook. I don't do it on Instagram, but on Facebook, I put out a thing, and I genuinely wanted to know, like, hear from the people that were voting for Kamala Harris. Because in my brain, and again, this is topics that people don't touch, but I genuinely wanted to know because in my brain,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. But I also know I have bias. I also know that I don't know everything. So I genuinely
Yeah.
wanted to hear. And people they get worked up about this.
That's where, yeah, I think that's where politics, people could be blinded in politics because they're it's attached to an emotion. And when you have a certain emotion that gets ignited by a certain political debate, then you refuse to be open minded about anything that opposes that way of thinking.
Absolutely. And to me, that's a very scary place to be because here's what I do know politicians ain't dumb. They know. They if they can just play with your little heartstrings, that's exactly what they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do. So for me, it was never about and is never about like you should do this or you should no. Just think for yourself. It's all it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Just think for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever conclusion you come to, cool. But I just know most people they're not thinking, they're just being orchestrated and told what to do.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
use politics because everybody kind of understands that. But that's happening to people in every aspect of their life. More than I've ever seen it done because people nowadays they're not thinking for themselves. And when you don't think for yourself, you're very you're very easily manipulated. You're
yeah.
so easily manipulated. It's so easy to manipulate
That's
you.
true.
So anytime I see anybody that's like, yeah, come over here, like I'll help you. I'm your best friend. I always like, wait. What's in it for you? You know. So
Yeah, I think it's just the law of conformity for a lot of people. I spoke about this in another podcast I had where we are tribal by nature
yep,
as humans.
yep,
So whenever you think you're gonna go against the grain of somebody and not fit in, you're that's really a tribal innate like human response
yep,
about the fear of
yeah,
ostracization, just like being abandoned and
yeah.
left out from people.
But see,
That's what it
for me,
is.
and you're dead on. You're a very educated man. I like this. This is a great conversation. I can't have these conversations with a lot of people. Good, you know your stuff. No, I like that you said that because it's so true. And this is here's the deep down selfish reason why I do what I do and why I coach what I coach. Because I used to coach men, women. I used to coach everybody. And I just really
Mm,
felt this calling to coach men and work with men specifically because I feel like we're in a time where we really need strong men who have strong values, who have strong character, and they're not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. I think for too
mm.
long, men have kind of just sat back and took whatever was handed. And I think men and we tend to have the well, just whatever. We'll just kind of go with the flow kind of mindset. And that has gotten us to a very, very scary place where it's like it's time for men to stand up and be men. You know, it really, I think now more than ever, um, you need that because we just don't have that. I think for a long time, men have been told what to do. Men have kind of just sat back, went with the flow. And what's happening is a lot of men, especially the younger generation, they're getting lost. They really don't know how to be men.
It's because it's a thing called like information like there's a term for it. I read it in a book, but it's basically like information dementia,
Mm,
where there's too much information
mm.
that you don't know what's true or not,
Well, I think
and you get lost in the information cycle.
we definitely are in the information era, that's for sure. And I don't think young men have strong male influences to look up to. So, like, I remember growing up for
Mm.
me, uh, and again, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm just going to tell
How
you
old are
what I
you?
see. I'm 40. I'll be
Okay.
41 like next week. How old are you?
Oh, your birthday's coming
Yeah,
up?
14.
Happy early birthday.
Thanks, man. How old are you?
I just turned 30
Okay, nice.
2 weeks ago.
Okay, perfect. So you're still in that. You still caught that. You, I don't know. Maybe you relate to this. Maybe I don't know. So for me, growing up, like men were men, and when I say that, it was like, and I'm not saying
Mm,
this is right or wrong because it has its flaws. Like men didn't cry. Uh, you just like you just went out and did the hard stuff. Um, uh, it was just hard. Like as a man, it was hard, and you just knew it was hard. Like if something popped off, like it's the man's job to go out and handle that. It's not the woman's job.
mm,
Um, it was just different, and we've gotten to a place. Now I've seen both worlds. So I've seen that world, but then I've seen this new world. So in my head, I still know that world, but the new
yeah.
generation, I don't think they've seen that. I don't know. I just run into this a lot. I don't think men know how to be men. I don't think men have been told like life
Well,
is hard.
it's because of the media and everything that's going on. It's like the media is trying to feminize men and masculinize women.
Well, yeah, because I think what has happened. Here's what I've seen over the years. It's kind of been pinned on life is so hard for women, and I don't want to undermine that women haven't had tough times. I don't. I'm not going to do that. But at the end of the day, I think life has been very, 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 very hard for men, and it's always been very, very, very hard for men. Way harder than it's been for women. Now, maybe there's a small fraction of white men at the very, very top who maybe it's been, but that's small. That's first of all, it's not every white man. Let's start there. But I
Yeah,
think
that's a
that's a
minority.
minority. I mean, man, if you don't have certain criteria, like if you don't have money, if you don't have status, if you don't have like looks, if you don't have certain things, life is going it's going to be very challenging, especially to get like let's just say in terms of dating, finding a woman, it becomes very challenging. A woman won't have
Mm.
that issue. A woman will never have that issue. I don't care what a woman looks like. You could be 300, whatever. You can look like whatever. There's a man out there you'll find.
Ursula.
Yeah, you could look like anything. Where it's just there's certain things as a man, if you don't have it, life's gonna be hard for you. Just
That's actually one of the reasons I started working out.
yeah,
I was a short, scrawny Filipino kid uh, that was unconfident,
yeah,
super introverted. Uh, yeah, that was one of the main reasons why I started working out,
yeah. And see,
to gain confidence, to look better for the
yeah,
opposite sex.
yeah. I mean, that's why men do what we do. That's why we, buy big houses. That's why we buy nice cars. That's why we do all of that for that. It's all a status thing. It's all for the opposite sex. It always is, always has been, it always will.
It's like a mating call,
Yeah.
mating symbol.
There's a whole bunch
Yeah.
of dudes around Earth. We just wouldn't care about that stuff. We wouldn't care. Probably wouldn't shower. We wouldn't do half the stuff we do, you know? But we don't talk about, like, again, just like what you were saying as a man, like, and that's tough, bro. But you're like, okay, you ain't got your life. You're going out there in the gym, you're working on yourself, you're elevating your status, you're elevating your value as a man. Whereas a woman, honestly, women are born with kind of the stuff they need to pretty much survive if they want it to be. Again, and I don't say that in a demeaning way towards women. That's not that. I'm not. I think we've gotten to this era where it's like men and women, for whatever reason, think they are
It's like, oh, that takes as an attack
yeah,
now.
no,
Yeah.
no. Look, men and women are not meant to fight each other. We're not. But here's the thing: men and women are different. You know, some people don't understand this. I understand people want equal value, equal rights.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But men and women are different. Like if someone breaks into my house, I'm not going to turn to my wife and be like, "Babe, go handle that." No,
Well, I think that's where you get into this whole gender role debate, which,
I don't think there's really a debate to have. But I'd be really open to hear someone that tries to debate it.
well, I think that's what it comes down to, where it's like, oh, the gender role debate is I think it stems from equality,
Mhm,
where it's like, oh, anything men can do, women can do. But I think gender roles do exist
mhm.
because that's why we're different. That's why if gender roles don't exist, then we wouldn't be different. Why do you think we're different? Why do you think we're born a female and a male?
Huh. Yeah,
Why do you think a man has more muscular density
mhm,
naturally versus a woman? Why are women's hips wider
yeah.
naturally? Why do they I
You could, bro,
it's
you could
just
go on and on and on and on
it's
and on.
nature.
There's a
Yeah, it's
clear
just
difference.
nature.
There's physical difference,
Mhm.
there's psychological differences, there's tons of differences. And we're just lying to our, but again, that doesn't mean one is better than the other. I think we just
Yeah,
live in a
yeah.
society where life has pretty much been easy. So let's go back hundreds of years or whatever. It was men are the ones that went out and conquered different land. The
Mm,
women ain't go out.
yeah.
If we're in our village, if your village is attacking my village, the women weren't the ones fighting. The men were the ones fighting,
Yeah.
But we just don't, society isn't like that now. Like, no one's coming to invade our tribe. We're not having to physically fight for things. We're
Well,
not.
we do still have like if you look at a lot of tradesman jobs and dangerous construction jobs and
100%.
majority of the military is men.
As it should be. I'm sorry. I don't first of all, I wouldn't want a woman to put her life on the line like that.
Yeah.
Second
Yeah.
of all, I wouldn't want an army full of women fighting an army of men. Like, I
Mm,
don't,
yeah, yeah.
nothing. I have no problem. I love women. I love women way more than I love men. Like, I mean, like, but I don't want it. Like, come on. Like, let's really be serious now. Like,
Well, I think the people that go against this way of thinking, it just stems from the whole equality thing, where it's like I could do anything that you could do. Where
women
it's like,
don't
I
want
mean,
that
you
role. Women
could,
do.
but
Women do not want that role. They see,
yeah,
that's the thing. They don't understand what it's how hard it is to be like. If you ask probably most women, they think they probably have it harder than men. I think if you ask them, they'll be like,
you
yes.
said they think they have it harder.
Mhm. I would say if you ask a woman, they would probably think that they have it harder for a man. I don't think so. I think a man has it way way harder. It's way way harder for me. It's more competitive. Men in general, we are very competitive. We are very, like, if me and you are going for the same job, we're both. It doesn't matter of your size. None of that. You're going to be just as competitive as I am towards that job. I mean, it's just males are like that. It doesn't matter what we're doing. We could be. We're just men are just hyper competitive. We just are about everything. We always want to one up somebody. It doesn't matter if we're in a spelling bee. I want to beat you. If
Mm.
we go to Disney, I'm like, well, I'm getting a fast pass. Your family don't got the fast pass. We got the fast pass. Like, it's just how men are, you know.
Yeah,
It's not, again. It's not about, and I want to be very clear. It's not about one is better than the other. It's no. We just have different roles. Like, I love my kids. I would give my life for my kids, but there's a level of love that my wife gives our kids that I can't do that. I can't. I just can't.
yeah.
It's just different. It's just like, my son. I just have to come. My son will be. My kids are very well behaved, but they don't listen to their mom. I just have to come in the room and that's it. And they're like, I don't understand why he. And it's like that in every household. It's not just my household. It's just the way it is.
Yeah,
So for me,
it's just
it's
nature.
for me again because I I am a Christian. I am religious. To me, it makes perfectly good sense because it's all in the Bible. Look, there's an order to things, and when things aren't done in a certain order, there's chaos. It
Yeah.
creates chaos. It has since the beginning of time.
Well, and I think in the world we live in today, whether you believe in Christianity or
Mhm.
whatever, um, isn't the devil or something like the master of confusion?
Yep. Yep.
And that's what's going on today.
Yep.
So much confusion.
So much, man. So much. Like you got like, and I really noticed this after I got saved. So after I got saved, I got hit pretty hard with this. So after I got saved, it was like, imagine if you were like in a world and then all of a sudden everything gets turned upside down. And everything you look at is like backwards and upside down. That's kind of what it was like after I got saved. So everything I was doing before, everything how I looked at things, I realized like, whoa, this is backwards. I'm doing everything wrong. And when I started looking at media and news and different things like this, I'm like, schools, like they're teaching everyone everything backwards. No wonder why we're in such a mess,
Mm.
you know. So, but you're right. The devil's the master of confusion.
So what's next, man?
As far as
Uh, what's your vision for the future?
so my big thing for me for now is like one, always just being a man of God, taking care of my family. You know, well, first of all, being a man of God. Number two, taking care of my family. Number three would be building an army full of strong men. That's really it's really like near and dear to me. Just building an army of absolute savages all around the world. Yeah, all around the world that are
I
just
support that.
just stand on their business. They they hold it down. They make money, like everything, like everything.
Mm.
They lead. They take care of their family. They understand and know exactly who they are, and they stand on their business. And yeah, so for me, it's more than about just like I think when I explain to people what I do, like an online trainer, it's just an easy way to first understand kind of what I do, but really it's much bigger than that. For me, it's much bigger. So
Mm.
much bigger. Like I just want to create this huge army of savages
I support that, man. Um,
because it's cool, man. It's like seeing a man like make
mm.
that transition and to just own his life, just own it, and just finances go up, relationship status goes up, relationship with kids goes up. Nothing can stop him because I think if you're a man of any importance, the world's going to try to stop you. The world is going to try to stop you. People are going to try to stop you. And that's really when a man's character comes out, not when everything's going good.
The
Yeah,
Matrix.
yeah,
Do you follow Andrew
yeah,
Tate?
yeah. Yeah. You know what? I actually just recently started listening to him. I'm
Oh
probably
man, you
like
should
so
listen to the
slow on him, but yeah, I'm like,
new do you follow Candace Owens?
I do. I do.
She just released a new podcast with him.
I actually
Um
seen that.
I think
I didn't see the whole thing, but I see.
the latest one.
Yeah, the one that were in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was a great conversation. That was actually one of the. That was actually one of the one. Like when I say I just started listening to him, I mean, I had heard of
That
him
was like the
before.
first one.
Yeah, I had heard of him before, but a lot of it was like chopped up versions of him, and a lot of it was pertaining to like women, you know, and like
Oh
kind of like
yeah.
they spun him in kind of a bad way. But then once I heard him on, which I wasn't against him or anything like that, I just never really got into him. But once I heard him on Kansas, I was like, dang, this dude is spitting some real stuff. I'm like, this dude is actually very intelligent. And then I kind of, I'm a person, I go down the rabbit holes. So once I dig somebody, I'll like, okay, let me scope them out, make sure this is, because I'm very cautious of what I listen to,
I do that sometimes too.
But once I find someone that's good, I'll be like, okay. But yeah, no, I just think anybody that says the truth nowadays, when you speak the truth now, people ain't going to like you. It's just
Mm.
how it is nowadays. Like, so
Yeah, because you're going against the
you're
conformity.
going against it.
You're not following the
You're
herd.
not following it. So that's why, like, when I'm working with men, like, you have to be ready for that. You
Yeah,
have to
because
be ready for that.
you're gonna get
You are
backlash.
going to get
Yeah.
some backlash, and some of that backlash, I mean, it could be financially. It could mean it could mean a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah. Andrew Tate. I mean, what $1 million lawsuit he had to go through. Jordan
Yeah.
Peterson. Do you follow Jordan Peterson
Yep.
at all?
Yep.
Millions of
Yep.
dollars of lawsuits for just
Nothing.
saying your truth.
Yep. So that's what, again, you have to be ready for that. So you need the brotherhood. So you because you need people, but then you have to be ready to stand on that. So and that's what it's about because I don't see that getting any better. I
Yeah.
only see things going kind of downhill, and not to be a pessimistic or anything like that, but like I just think men need to tighten up because if not, there's some people going to get eaten up and swallowed up. It's already happening to a lot of people. It already happens. I see it all the time. I see men getting walked over all the time.
I think we're in this state of the world where you have to pick your poison,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So you're gonna pick the poison of just conformity and following what everybody says, or you're gonna pick the poison to go against.
yeah. Yeah. You're right. I just can't conform like that. I just never, it's just never been me. I think for a long time I was, you want to believe the good in everybody. You really do. You want to believe the good in the world
Mm,
and this and that. And I think what it was, and I think with a lot of people, I don't think they understand how evil some people are. Right? Because I think we
yeah.
can all agree. I'm sure you've done bad things. I've done bad things. I've done terrible things. You've probably done terrible things. But there's some evil, evil, evil people that I don't even think your average person even understands the kind of evil it is. Almost to the point they're so bad you wouldn't even think you're like, nah, they wouldn't do that. That's impossible.
Mm.
Yeah, they would. And then once you start realizing that, you're like, okay, now this makes sense. Because even the Bible talks about this is the devil's world.
I think it's just the dichotomy of life.
Yeah,
Like whenever there's good, there's gonna be somebody on the opposite side of
yeah.
that.
I just don't think people realize how evil people can be. And I realized it. This is when I realized it was a big problem. I was talking to someone last week, a couple of days ago, and I asked them, because again, whether you like the dude or not, I use him as an example a lot because I feel he gets attacked a lot. So with Trump,
Yeah.
they were calling him, they were relating him to Hitler. I said, Hitler. So I asked the girl I was talking to, I was like, let me ask you a question. When you think of, would you put Trump and Hitler on the same level? And she thought about it for like a good 30 seconds. And she's like, yeah, they're pretty much the same. And in my head, I'm like, okay, whether you like the man or not, that's fine. I understand he says some harsh things. But I'm like, Hitler killed 6 million innocent Jews, put them in gas chambers. You're really gonna let the media put those two in the same? I was like, we don't need to really. We're not gonna get anywhere because
Yeah.
if you think that he's on that level, if I thought someone was on that level, I would vote for anybody but that person. There's no way I would vote for anybody. It could be a cow. I would vote for the cow.
It's just the media's the mainstream media, like many news channels and journalism, uh, they just focus on anything that goes against what they say, and they shine a light on that
Well, that's
against him.
that's what's blown me away. I'm like, how can you be that deceived? That's
Mm.
what baffles me. It's not that I can understand how people don't like him. Oh, that's easy to understand. I can understand that. But to put him in that same category, to have the man, someone try to take his life, and you say something like,
Well, two
hey,
times,
yeah,
right?
like, oh, it's a shame they missed. I'm like, he's a human being. Like, I don't care who, like, I'm just like, do you hear what you're saying?
That's just yeah, that's society. That just shows you the mentality that has been brought to us.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's great. That to me, that's like the stuff like I always try to figure out like, okay, how did you?
Like people are okay with that now,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
What was even like when it happened? I was like, we just gonna act like that didn't happen? Because we ain't never get no
Yeah,
answers.
exactly. Yeah.
We never got any answers of what really happened. It just got swept under the rug. But it's like I've seen that with everything, even like with the whole COVID thing. Like it was just like 1 minute it's here, the worst thing ever, and then it's gone. I'm like, y'all just forgot what?
Well, and then the people that didn't want to wear masks were
Yeah.
we were being
Oh
ostracized.
my goodness.
We were being like,
Super
"What's wrong
spreaders.
with you?"
They were
Yeah,
just making up words, changing definitions. We were super
and
spreaders.
they don't even know the truth.
Did you? Oh, you're in Texas, so you guys are pretty chill over there too. So that was a good state to be in.
Well, when I was during COVID, I was still in the Navy, and
Oh,
I was in San Diego,
oh,
and
like the terror. That's like you're in the Navy and you're in San Diego. Jeez. Did they force you to take it?
man,
Did you have to take the jab?
so I was so lucky that I was transitioning out
Mm,
the same exact time they were forcing us to take the jab.
mm.
So I got out at a perfect time. They were literally making us sign contracts, basically saying uh, if you don't get the vaccine, this is going against a lawful order of the military code of justice, and we have the right to kick you out.
Wow. See, yeah, like remember out there firing people from their jobs? Like people, like it was crazy. It was so crazy. And then all of a sudden, poof. You ever read RFK's book? It's
Mm,
a good book, man. It's a good book. He talks about that. He talks about that. He talks about the vaccine. He talks about COVID. He talks about all that. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. But yeah, but I'm just like, y'all just gonna forget about that? Like, no one's gonna be held accountable for that? Like, I mean, so many of my friends lost everything, lost their whole businesses,
mm.
because you were forced to
Oh
close.
yeah, so many businesses went down
You
during
know,
that time.
you're just forced to close. So to me, that was the biggest wealth transfer we've ever seen in my generation. People don't even
Mm.
people don't even realize that. At the end of the day, that's really what it was. It was a money grab at the expense of the American people. Great.
You have a quote that you had on your Instagram. You said, "Don't let your excuses hold you back from who you become."
Yeah, it's easy, man. It's easy to buy into this fictitious story you've made up in your head. And I don't. I think what I had to realize was it's just a story. And the cool thing is,
Mm,
we're all writing our own story. And when we write our story, first of all, you write it in pencil, and it's not done. So you can go back, you can change things, you can modify things, keep what you want, keep what serves you, get rid of what doesn't. Because at the end of the day, most people, you're just making excuses. You're just making excuses. That's all it is. You know, I see it all the time. Like I see it all the time. I hear, I get on my own people, black people all the time. Well, the white man is holding me back. Shut up. What are you talking about? We had a black president. Like we legitimately had a black president. You know.
see, man, that's hard to say for like somebody who's not black.
I know. That's why I always say
It's
it
hard.
because people want to say it. They just can't. They'll be labeled a racist. So I say it because they need to
Hmm.
hear it.
Uh,
You might get
it's
away with it because
the
you're Filipino. You might be all right. But if you were white, oh, that you would never make it.
I got some brown in me.
Yeah, you might be okay. You'd live, but oh man, if you were white and you said that, you'd never. But that's why I say stuff like
uh,
that because if anybody else, everybody's thinking it. Doesn't make any sense.
well, I think the issue with the oppressed mindset is the victimization trap, where if you feel like you're always oppressed, you innately feel like a victim. When you feel like a victim, the victim mindset, you lose control.
Yep.
When you don't have control, you depend on this mindset and you go in a circle. Well, this is what happened. I'm oppressed. I'm this, so I can't do anything about it, or I can't. You lose. You give the oppression power over how you show up.
Or the oppressor.
Hmm.
Yeah. You hit. I mean, you hit it right on the head. As a matter of fact, that leads me to like my favorite quote by Jim Rome is, "For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better." And that's exactly what you just said. That was the thing that opened me up. It's like personal development 101. Everything is because of you, and everything will be because of you. You have to take full responsibility for everything in your life. And as soon as someone
Hmm.
does that, your life will immediately change. Because it did for me. It did for it. Literally, I heard that because the mindset you just spoke of, I used to have that. And when you have that
Hmm.
mindset, there's like you're trapped. There's nothing you can do because you're like, well,
Yeah.
it's this person's fault or that person's fault, or
Hmm.
well, then if it's their fault, then that means they got to change something. Well, they ain't changing.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
it's hard enough to change yourself. you know, so you hit it right on the head. It's a victim mindset. Even
Hmm.
if, for say, you want to, like, let's just say hypothetically, it was true.
Hmm.
Buying into a victim mindset is not going to help you. It just won't. Fundamentally, it will not help you. That because if you play the victim, then you need a victor. You need someone to come and save you. And the
Yeah.
person that's going to come and save you, look, they're not looking out for your best
They're
interest.
not coming to save you.
They're not. They're going to use and abuse you.
They're gonna take advantage
They're
of
going to
that
take
that
advantage of you
mindset.
because,
Yeah.
again, you have a victim mindset. So anything you say,
Hmm.
here, take this little bit over here. Oh, thank you so much, kind sir. Meanwhile, they're raping you. Like, it's just, but again, if I think if black people did any kind of research, that's been done since the beginning of the time. I mean, this is not a new tactic. Like, oh, but the master gives us a house and he feeds us. Yeah, but it's the leftovers and you're outside in the shack. Like there's better things out there. It's not new. It's not new. So like
Have you seen the new movie? Am I a racist?
no, you know what? I didn't even know it was out. I seen the preview and I was like, this is probably so
It's
great.
I haven't seen it, but I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast with what's his name, Matt Walsh. He
Mhm.
was like the main guy and director that filmed it. And yeah, he went to whole towns and cities where people have this uh like white towns and black towns where people they don't understand the true meaning of racism.
Yeah, I
Basically,
agree.
people were going to like anonymous, like alcohol anonymous style groups, but for their white privilege. It was like white privilege
Look,
anonymous,
see, that's
like
that trips me out. Like, I just want to slap those people because I'm like, what are you
like
talking
you
about?
need to repent
Yeah,
for
for your whiteness.
for your no, what it is they're blaming people on their history. So it's like you need to repent for your white privilege because back in the day,
No, I've seen it. I know what you're talking about.
you know what I'm
I
talking
know,
about?
I know,
Yeah.
I've seen it, but I'm like, what are y'all doing right now? Get up off the ground and like you no, like, this has nothing to do with you. It's just stupid. Those are I dealt with a girl on social media saying that, trying to tell me like, I'm surprised you have this mindset. This is a white lady now. I don't know how you have
Oh,
this type of
really?
mindset when you guys were discriminated. Black people are just discriminated and held back and blah 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 blah. I'm like, lady, what are you talking about? I don't buy into that.
I think we just had to focus on what's happening now opposed
Yeah,
to like we can learn from our history. Let's not repeat the same mistakes. But what's going on now? Like
and don't get me wrong.
them.
Like racism, it exists. It's a real thing.
Mhm.
But it will always exist. It's not going. It will always be there. But my big
Mm,
thing is there was a time when, as a black man, I actually couldn't do it. Like there was laws that stopped me from doing things. There was, if I
yeah.
walked on this side of town at a certain time, I'm not coming back. I'm gonna end up hung in a tree. Like that really did exist. That doesn't exist now. This is not reality. Now, yeah, I might run into a racist. I could, but guess what? I just go find another door. Go find another opportunity. Before I couldn't do that. There was limited doors you could go through. So it was like without
Mm,
getting through this door, we'll use like the let's use like the music industry for instance. So back
mm,
in the day, the music industry, you had to go through the record label. So if that person didn't say like you were good, there's no way you could
mm.
make it big time. You just couldn't. You had to go through a record label. It's the only way. Now you can go on YouTube. You can go right on YouTube and put out your music. You can put your stuff on Spotify. There's a gazillion
The
things.
opportunities out there,
The
yeah.
opportunities out there. I mean, just if that don't work, just go find another way. And it's every single race has dealt with this. It's not just black people. And I think the more we,
The more we focus on it, the more it's going to be
yeah,
exacerbated.
you're just like, let's get off the race thing. I mean, it's just, who cares what skin color is? I mean, it's just like you're making the
I think
issue
it's a
worse, man.
distraction.
Yeah,
It's a distraction, yeah.
And then we're trying to tell kids like, oh yeah, you've been discriminated against. You're never going to be as good.
Kids just see everybody the
I
same.
don't care. Yes, there was horrible things done to almost every single race of person. I mean, there just was. I don't want to make light of what has happened in the
Mm,
past. It has, but I ain't never been no slave. My parents ain't never been no slaves. I ain't never been on no plantation. I ain't never been like I don't know anything about that. I really don't. Just as like if there was a white person that was my age, he ain't never been no slave owner. He ain't never whooped nobody. Like,
yeah.
come on, man. Like, you gonna get me in all kind of trouble with this podcast. I'm gonna be canceled.
You're gonna get canceled.
Mhm.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
No, it's good. It's good.
But
It's a
man,
good conversation, and I think conversation like this needs. It's good to have them.
yeah, yeah, nothing's off limits on my podcast, honestly.
It's good.
Um,
I think that's good. I think it's great that you run your show like that.
but let's move on to this game. How deep will you go?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Level one, icebreaker. What is on your mind right now?
Honestly, I've just been really enjoying this conversation. Like I really enjoy like having like look, I hate small talk. I hate small talk. Like I tell my wife that all the time. I hate
Me
small
too.
talk.
It's
Yeah,
cringe.
I
It's
hate it.
cringe.
So I'm actually really enjoying. This has been a good conversation. So I've been really into on the conversation.
I'll play it with you.
Yeah.
Uh, what's on my mind right now? Man, probably just work. You know, just finding. I've been like on this spiritual journey where uh, I want to. Something that really resonated with me is because I don't subscribe to any one religion.
Hmm.
I always just tell people like I'm a man of all religions and um God, like I do believe in it. Like maybe call me agnostic, whatever. Um, but something I read recently, the Tao Te Ching.
Hmm.
I don't know if you ever heard of it,
Yeah.
but basically there's a quote in there. I forget exactly what it is, but it's like if you can if you can work on something that is a selfless act, but also brings you fulfillment,
Hmm.
that's basically your purpose.
Hmm.
So something you can work on that is selfless, like you don't get anything out of it, but is helping other people and can also bring you fulfillment.
Hmm.
that's your purpose. And that's what I've been thinking a lot about lately. And that's what uh, made me want to start a podcast.
No, I think that's awesome, and I would agree with that. And that's just right in line with it's right in line with Christianity. I mean, that's what Jesus came. Jesus
Mm-hmm.
came. He was the ultimate sacrifice. He came
Mm-hmm.
for the forgiveness of our sins. He was a perfect man that came. So I would agree with that statement wholeheartedly and completely. I think that's pretty cool that you're. It's more than cool. It's cool is not a good word for that, but it's awesome that you're on that journey, man. It's powerful. It's a powerful journey to be on, and it's awesome, man. It's pretty awesome.
Level 2 confessions. What or why have you kept going?
Why have I kept going? I would probably say, for me, my biggest fear is not being successful. Well, I shouldn't say biggest fear. I don't really like that word. I don't like using the word fear. But one of the things that I'm constantly thinking about is I don't want to be a failure. I definitely don't want to be a failure. I want to be successful.
What does a failure look like to you?
I think it's changed over the years. I think before it was all monetary, it was all things. Um, Now I think that's definitely changed. It's more in alignment of kind of what we were just talking about being that servant, being that person who's fulfilling his purpose, uh, and doing what I'm called to do. Which again, for me, I feel like I'm called to work with men. I'm called to bring and level men up. Um, which has been a challenging process for me because prior to this, I've always worked with men and women. I've been in the industry 15 years now. And prior to this, probably like 98% of my clientele was women. Like I've had thousands,
Oh, wow.
yeah, thousands of women clients, like tons. And I had men clients, but it just that was not my bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
So making that transition was a very big leap of faith. I say very big. No, it was a very big leap of faith. It was a very big leap of faith. But I just
Yeah,
believed
that's
it.
like going against the grain of,
Yeah, it was like it would be stupid. It would be like, well, for most people, if you think about it, you're like, why would you do that? That's stupid. Even like
yeah.
it was so against the grain. Like I had again, I've been on Instagram for 15 years, posted like very continuous, like
You were an early adopter.
yeah. It was pretty early on, and I just started a brand new Instagram because my messaging was it's so different now. It's so
Mm,
different now. That I'm like, you know what? Let me just start this over, and I thought it would be best overall. Which I think I had like almost 8,000 posts. So
damn.
yeah, yeah. But
So what keeps you going?
it's just following my purpose, to be honest. Like just following my purpose. I would say that, and then my family. I'm a big time family man. My wife, my kids.
Me too.
Like they're
Well,
just
at least for my immediate family. I need to spend more time with my siblings and stuff.
yeah, I would agree. It's more my immediate family. I mean, I love my siblings too, but it's definitely my immediate family is like everything to me. I mean,
I'll answer it now.
yeah,
This is a fun game. I like this
yeah.
game. Why have you kept going? To me, I think it's pretty simple. I have this fear of not pursuing an opportunity
Mm,
if I have an opportunity to, I guess, be somebody that I'm proud of.
mm, mm.
That's what keeps me going.
I can definitely identify with that one. I can definitely identify with that one. Yeah.
I feel like if you have an opportunity to do something, then you're doing a disservice to yourself if you're not pursuing it.
I agree, and I don't even think it's just a disservice to yourself. It's also a disservice of your friends, your family, and the people that you might meet. Because again, if there was certain things that I wouldn't have done, I would have never became the man that I am today, and I never would have impacted the people that I've impacted. So it's
Yeah,
not,
that's true too.
it's not just you. You
Hmm.
becoming the best version of yourself, the person that God intended you to be. It's not. That's not even for. It's not for you. It's for the betterment of others.
Hmm.
So yeah, I agree with that. I felt that.
Level three, getting deep. What is something you don't tell most people?
Something I don't tell most people. I would probably say about the. I don't want to call it a porn addiction because I definitely didn't have a porn addiction. I don't like that word. Um, but even if that was any issue at all, I just recently started saying that. Um,
Well, because society deems that as normal.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like there's a whole no-fap community on Reddit
yeah,
with millions.
yeah. It's definitely, and that was something that I just actually shared with my wife. Which again, now I've just honestly, I've just became so transparent now. I just don't hide. I'm just super transparent now, and it wasn't like something I came out. I just was talking and it just came out. But then it was cool because I didn't realize, but she had that issue. Uh,
What?
yeah,
That's uncommon.
I don't think it's
It's
uncommon.
usually
I
men.
don't think it's uncommon. I just think
It's
most
just
people,
not
it's just
spoken
not
of.
spoken of. But me and my wife we have an awesome relationship. We really, really do. It's grown over the years into really something that's awesome and special. And like when she shared that with me at first, I just, we were just having a conversation. I didn't think about it until afterwards. And I was like, oh, snap. Because my wife, I share whatever. I'm an open book, but she's not, she's working on it. She's getting better. So I kind of went back and told her, I'm like, that was awesome. I appreciate you sharing that with me, you know? But it was like, that was probably something that I don't think I've ever, well, I've definitely never said on a podcast, but that's,
The first thing that comes to my mind is what is something that I don't tell most people is I think when I had first had kids, I had like uh, they say postpartum for for women,
yeah,
but I think I had some of that as
yeah,
well, where it's like you just your whole life changes
yeah,
and you fall into this weird depression because it's not who you were for the first 25 years or however
yeah,
long before you had kids. Um, yeah, I had, I don't know, just depressed during that time. Like, why did I have kids? Questioning why I had kids.
yeah,
Um, I don't have the freedom anymore that I once had. Um, just a lot of shame and like guilt
yeah.
around that.
And I think it's important to have a place to like. This is again going back to another reason why I want to create this just culture of like absolute savages because there's you need to be able to share that because like shame and guilt those are like two of the lowest frequencies you can be on. So if you're on those
Hmm.
frequencies, like that's not good. But also at the
Hmm.
same time, those are feelings. Like those are things that you need to talk about. You need to get out. You need to
Yeah,
vent.
you can't discard that.
Nah, because you have to
Yeah.
sort through those and you have to deal with them. You
Hmm.
know. So I understand that, and I think it's just again, it's probably a lot of people have that deal with that. They just don't express that because some people might not want like, oh, that this sounds bad. Like I'm ashamed of my kids, or like I didn't like I feel like you know what I mean. Like some people wouldn't talk about that, but it's
Hmm.
that these are conversations that people need to have, and this is like the stuff that I really dig into my guys about. Is like you have to deal with all these thoughts. Like most people, if someone like jumped inside most people's brain, they would be disgusted, they would be ashamed, they wouldn't. That happens to everybody. Everybody has these thoughts. Everybody, like it's like learning to sort through those things and deal with these things. But you have to be. in order to get to that place, first of all, you have to be like, I realized like first of all, I had to figure it out myself. Then once
Mhm.
I figured it out myself, then I have to first be vulnerable. Because if I'm not vulnerable,
Yeah,
how can
that's hard for men,
yeah,
vulnerability. Yeah.
if I'm not vulnerable, how can I expect someone else to be vulnerable? If I don't share anything
Well,
about
cause
me,
yeah, cause men see that as weak,
yeah.
being vulnerable.
That's why I think it's hard. It's very, very, and that's why probably if you go see a um, therapist or whatever, which I'm not against therapists, and if that whatever works, like do whatever. It does.
I'm not
Yeah, I'm definitely not against it or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably why it would take so long, because if you're like, hear this person in, because it just didn't work for me. That's just me. Like, it works great for some people, but I think a lot of times why people will have a hard time with it is because like here you are expected to open up to someone you don't even know this person,
Mm.
and like it's probably why it takes like years, months, whatever to really get down to it because you're not.
I think the problem with therapy is because I'm not against it either
Mhm,
to a certain extent. Like, I used it during the time where I was experiencing cheating and
mhm,
infidelity.
mhm,
It helps you sort out your thoughts up to a certain, I think there's a certain threshold.
mhm.
And then once you're past that threshold, it's like a bird coming out of the nest. Like, okay, now you go fly on your own. Now you sort through it by yourself. I think the problem is that people who go to therapy, you keep focusing on this issue and you keep going in circles around it. Where I think you have to fly out of the nest sometimes.
I think a lot of times it's easy to get caught on it because what I found um, is a lot of times what people think is the issue, it's not even really the issue. You have to
Mm,
go like usually it's like 3, 4, 5 layers deep. Even
mm,
with weight loss, like people will come in and like, you don't want to lose weight. That's not why you even come to see me. Like you're coming to see me because
mm.
your wife is disgusted by you and you haven't had sex with her in 4 months. That's why you're here. Like let's get
Oh
to the real
man.
point. Because think about it. If someone comes to me and they're like, "Oh, I want to lose weight," and
Mm,
then deep down, that's not deep down. The real reason is you haven't had sex with your wife in 4 months, and she doesn't touch you, doesn't show you no affection. You're going to the gym, you're going to stop or you're not going to be motivated to do it because you're going saying you want to lose weight. That's not why you want to go. But if you're going to the gym and
mm,
every day you get up early and every day you're pushing hard weight and you're meal prepping your food and you're doing all this, knowing that at the end of this, your wife is going to be more sexually attracted to you than she's ever been in her life. She's not going to be able to keep her hands off you. You're going to have all this confidence. You're going to go to the gym. You ain't going to have no problem meal prepping. And it's like that with so many issues. It's like, well, that's why people quit. Because if this is for everybody, this is just a rational person would think this way. Like, if this is the reward and this is the work that you have to do, you'll do it every time. But if this is the work that you
mm,
have to do and this is the reward, you're not going to do it. It's just any rational person. So you just have to flip flop those things. Anybody that quits or anybody that can't
mm,
stay consistent, it's because this is the work, this is the reward. All you have to do is switch
mm,
that to this is the reward and this is the amount of work. Substitute anything you want, you'll do it then because the payoff is worth it. But if you have a superficial payoff, you're not going to do it. So you have to really get down to the reason. But no man comes to me like they want to lose weight. If they no, they don't want to lose weight. That's not the real reason you're coming to me. You want to be a badass. You want to walk into a room and demand attention because you've never gotten that before. You want to go get a hot wife. You want to go get a hot girlfriend. You don't care anything about losing weight. That's not it. Stop being dumb. That's why you've struggled for so long. So you have to get to the real. It's all different kind of reasons. But if you don't get to the once you get to the real reasons, oh, it's easy then because everybody knows what to do. It's not hard,
mm,
but it's like most people found they can't stay consistent, right? They don't have the discipline, right? Where none of those are even true. You do have consistency. You just consistently do the wrong thing. You do have the discipline. You just use that on other activities that go against what you want to
Mhm.
do. Nobody has a consistency or a discipline issue. Zero people.
Mhm.
It's just you're focused on the wrong thing. All we got to do is fix your focus. That's it. Then it's done. But people think it's a like like it's an information issue. It's not an information issue. Like information is everywhere. It's the application that people
Mhm.
get stuck with. That's how people would come to me. Like, you're not coming to me. Nobody comes to me for the information. If you think you're coming to me for the information, you're not. You're coming to me for the application. I'm the one you come to
Mhm.
when none of that other stupid stuff worked. It's the application. You can go on. There's so many. You can go on Google. You can go on YouTube. You can go on ChatGPT. All of those things.
Yeah, most people know what to do.
Yeah. It's the application. It's being part of a community. It's being part. It's being with someone who's going to hold you accountable. Because some, like, you go to some trainers, they're not going to hold you accountable. They just want to take your money. I could
Mhm.
care less about your money. I'll tell people. No, I just had to tell a guy. I'm like, bro, I kicked him out of my program.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
really?
like, nah, this ain't for you, man. It's just not for you. I'm not here to like just take your money. Like, I could have kept him in the program, but I'm like, I'm not here to just take your money, bro. I want you to get a transformation. I want you to change, and you're not at a point where you're willing to
Yeah.
change. So I'm like, what are we doing? I'm not going to waste my time with you, and I don't want you to waste your money. Like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes people feel like that's all they need. Like, oh, let me just give you my money, and 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 this transaction is like justification for them to basically stay the
No,
same.
you're right. You're like, oh, they paid, so now they've done it.
Like, I did something, I tried.
Yeah,
So but I still have the same mindset. So
yeah.
it's like then you
Nah,
just get stuck.
nah, yeah, you got to do the work. And I tell people that. I'm straight. I'm straight with people. Where a lot of people are like, oh, well, you did a good job. Let's do better next week. No, you didn't. You freaking failed. You sucked. You absolutely sucked this week. What went on? Well, what happened was work, and my work is tough. Well, do you plan on quitting your job? No. Okay, well then what are we gonna do? Because otherwise you're gonna give me this excuse every single week, and I don't really want to
Mhm.
hear it. The only person I ever will listen to about excuses is my wife, and my wife knows it's like my wife don't talk to me about excuses, but she's the only one that gets the pass. It's definitely not gonna be you with a penis and balls. Like, you don't you don't get to do that, brother.
You got something dangling between your legs that
Yeah, you
you
don't
don't
you
got.
don't get it, man. But people need that. This is the problem. Like, people aren't held accountable. It was kind of like, even like when I missed last week, you have no idea how much that bothered me, because I just don't miss. I don't miss stuff like that. So it was like
Was
long.
it was just a calendar mistake
Yeah,
or
it was
what?
just a calendar issue, and I'm just like, but again, it's like, here I am. I'm like, first of all, this is a first impression. Secondly, I don't like making excuses. Like, it doesn't matter what the reason
Mm,
was. Like, it doesn't,
yeah.
like, on your end, like, who cares about my freaking calendar? Who cares that? Like, that doesn't. It's unacceptable to me. It's unacceptable. So,
Yeah.
like, that's just how I am. So that was, dude, that ate me up. That literally ate me up. And then this morning when you text me, I was like, oh, this is impossible. I'm like, this is impossible. And I'm
Yeah.
like, he's got.
Like, not
I'm like,
again.
he's
Like,
got,
fuck.
like, this wasn't my fault. Like, that's why I sent you a screenshot. I'm like, this was not my fault. Because I'm big on taking accountability. I'm big on, like,
Nah, I respect that, but I think you do gotta give yourself some, grace for those, mistakes to happen.
I would say this. Other people can give you grace. That's fine. But I think, dude, you gotta be a man of your word. And most people,
Integrity,
yeah,
yeah.
like, stuff does happen. I get that. But most people do not take responsibility. At the end
Mhm.
of the day, I messed up. I should have done something better. I should have. It's my fault, you know. So just take responsibility. I try to take the responsibility even when it's not. It's really not my fault. I will still take the responsibility. Just because I would rather be in control.
Yeah.
Because if I'm in control, I can change something. Once
Mhm.
I start doing a blame game, then I'm like, I'm not in control. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, people make too many excuses for me. But that's most people's problem, is they make too many excuses. They say they're going to do something and they don't do it.
I think it's a priority issue too.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you prioritizing, and why are you prioritizing it?
Yeah, 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 man.
But you ready for these final questions? They could be
Yeah,
fast
rock and roll.
if you gotta go
Yeah,
somewhere.
go ahead.
Um, First question is, what is your biggest regret?
I can't say I have regrets. I don't. I really don't have regrets. You know, there's things that maybe I didn't like or whatever, but regrets, nah, because those things had to happen. For me to say,
Mm,
for me to regret something is kind of like spitting in God's face, like I know better than you, and
mm,
because just because something didn't happen the way I wanted, doesn't mean
yeah,
that's not the way it was supposed to be. So I don't have any regrets.
yeah. I like to say there's meaning behind suffering.
Yeah,
Like if you're going through a trial and tribulation time in your life, it's usually for a reason. It's not just there just to fucking kick you in the ass.
yeah.
It's there for you to learn
I would say
something.
it's always there for a reason. Not only is it always there for a
Mm,
reason, most people don't want to. Sometimes you have to sit in it. Like
sit in your own
sometimes you
shit.
have to sit in it. And I think
Mm,
God puts you in something, and sometimes He's like, no, 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 no. You just got there. Sit there, learn the lesson, be prepared for where I'm about to take you because you're not ready yet. Sometimes you're not ready. Like sometimes something
mm.
happens and you're still doing that blame thing.
You make the same
Yeah.
mistakes.
And
Yeah.
blaming it on everybody else. Oh, I'm here because no, 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 no. That's not why you're there. Sit there a little longer and let's figure out the real reason because it's just preparing you for what's coming next. It's preparing you for what's
Mm,
coming next. It's preparing you for what's coming. Even like the situation you had like with your ex. Sure, it was
mm.
terrible at the time, but that made you a better man. It just did. It drove you to be a better man.
Yeah. That's so true. Next question is, who or what has made the biggest impact in your life?
I mean, I hate to keep sounding like going back to this, but it's God. God is by far, hands down, no question, not even close, made the biggest impact in my life. I would probably say, but to give you someone second to God, I would probably say my
Mm,
wife. My wife has, and I don't even know if she knows this, has definitely, definitely helped me.
nah, I think if a man could find a solid, supportive wife, he could do anything.
Yeah. And it was, you know what it was by? It wasn't even by like stuff she said. It was by her
Mm.
actions. It was by her
Oh
actions.
yeah. I mean, actions.
Yeah.
It's just like that old saying: actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. Even like I was telling her last week, I was like, I don't even know if you do this on purpose, but like my wife don't tell me what to do. But what she'll do is like, let's say she wants the trash out. My wife will just say like, babe, if you get a chance, can you take out the trash? And it's so subtle because if she would say like, take out the trash,
Take out the trash. Yeah, commanding.
yeah, it's just so. I'm like, and I noticed. I was thinking. I was like, she does that with everyone, with everything. Like, babe, do you mind helping me like bathe the kids? And of course, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll help you. But she was like, hey, give the kids a bath. Like, it's just like you know what I mean? It's
Mm,
such a small, subtle difference.
yeah,
But I'm like, I caught on to it the other day. I'm like, I don't know if you do this on purpose or not, but it's awesome. I just want to tell you.
I think it's a respect thing.
Yeah.
I think the way she frames it is uh, a way that shows respect to you.
Because she gets it done every single time. Like whatever it is, I do it every time, like every single time. So she's getting her way. I'm like, this is genius. You need to teach this to other women because I just think men don't. I don't want to be, yeah. And like you said, probably like you
Or
said,
like nagged,
yeah, like probably like
nagging.
you said, a
Yeah.
respect thing. And I think a lot for most men, respect is a very big thing.
Hmm.
And I don't think a lot of men get that. Well, I know a lot of men don't get that.
Well, that's because the whole gender, like we were just talking about, the in modern society, the gender roles are reversing a little bit. Like we're getting
Yeah.
more masculine women and more feminine men.
Yeah, no,
So it's like,
respect is big for me. And again, I'm not saying it's not important for women, but
Mhm.
it is not at the top of their list. Is that for men, respect is very high on the list. And I mean, I can tell by how a lot of women dress. Like, you don't respect your man. Like, you do not. There's no
If
way.
you go out fucking booty
Yeah, you
shorts
don't.
and
There's no way.
cleavage,
Yeah, there's no way you respect your man because again,
that's a sign of your like your that's basically a mating
it's
call.
so disrespectful. But
Yeah.
again, I don't. A lot of women, I don't think they understand what they're even doing. I don't. In their, I'm not even saying
Well,
it
what
offensive.
the female's argument to that is just like, oh, I like to feel sexy when I go
Well,
out.
you don't understand how men's brain work because whatever reason you're doing it for,
When they see that, they
yeah,
see
yeah, you're that's like
it's like a calling card.
yeah,
Yeah.
because women are all there. It doesn't matter what the woman looks like. Some dude is going to try them. They could come out with something on their head, sweatpants, big old. Some man is going to try to spit game at them. But when you come out like your booty's out, breasts out, half naked, you're just opening the floodgates. It just opens
Mhm.
the floodgates. And is that right? Is it wrong? Well, I don't know, but I can tell you that's how men think. That's just how men's
Mhm.
brains work. It just, even if you don't want
Yeah, we're
to, like,
visual. We're
it's
more
just
visual. Yeah.
like I had to actually switch the gym that I go to because I'm like, I can't go here. I can't like the
Oh,
food.
did I? For real?
So I told my wife, I'm like, we can't go to this gym.
I went to a gym like that too. There
I
was this
lost track. Oh,
girl that,
hold on. I think my things
oh yeah.
came out. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say. My headphone.
Nah, I was going to it was before I canceled my Planet Fitness membership, but when I was going there, there was this one girl. She would go like the same time,
Hmm.
and that shit was that shit was distracting,
Yeah.
bro.
Well, the gym.
She would go and do the she had like one of those like fitness tight, it's like a jacket, but it's like tight.
Hmm.
And she wouldn't zip it up.
Hmm.
She would
Hmm.
fucking that, and then she would always wear the tightest fucking was it
Yeah.
spandex, and then she would do the the cable rows where you the cable, it's where I usually do like the chest flies.
Hmm.
She would put her leg on it and do
Kickbacks.
the leg like where you're standing, and then your leg like goes like
Like
that.
kickbacks.
Kickbacks and the side ones
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And she would just do that in the middle of the gym.
Yeah.
That
No.
shit was
So
distracting.
imagine. So the gym that I went to was like, bro. It was like where all the like everybody went there that was like
Wearing swimsuits or
yeah,
some shit.
everybody was fit, guys and girls. Like I was a normal person in that gym. Like, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6 feet, like 230. You know, pretty big. But there, I was normal. So everybody was fit. But like the women, what they would come in there with, and like I told my wife, I'm like, it was an EOS. I don't know if you guys have EOSs by you, but
US?
it's called EOS.
EOS? I think we do, but I haven't seen any.
Yeah, it's a big chain, but I don't know what states they're in. But anyways, memberships, it's like I don't know, like $30 a month, something like that. So I told my wife, I'm like, we can't go here anymore. So I went to this like it's like a high end club. I mean, between mine, my wife's, and like the childcare or whatever, it's like $350 a month or something like that.
Oh
And
damn.
but it's a totally different clientele. Like there's none of that. I mean, there's a little bit of that stuff that goes on, but not really. You know, it's much. But I was like, okay, this is much better. But it was all because the main reason was because of how women were dressing. Because even if you're trying to do the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like it's
Distraction.
just
Yeah.
you know. So
No, I feel that.
so yeah, I'm
What
big on
is
respect.
what is one lesson you had to learn the hard way?
Having kids from multiple women, that was the hardest, dumbest, all of that. That's by far without that was the most stress, the most problems, the most whatever word you whatever you want to put on it. That was it. That was the most difficult thing I've ever dealt with. is having kids from multiple women. Easily, there's nothing even close to that. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Not and not just to say from a standpoint of negative for me. It's not fair to the kids. It's not like that's not how,
Mm,
like it's just not. Like I understand now, with because I was married before too, but I understand now with my current wife why it's one man, one woman, same family, um, and I understand like every situation isn't like that, but you have to do your best to get it as close as you can to that. You really do, because I messed up for a lot, and that was one area that like created havoc in my life, and it's not good for my kids either. Just wasn't,
mm.
you know. I would steer any man against that. Like that's yeah, havoc.
Nah, yeah, I definitely get that because I actually want to have more kids. I have twin
Oh,
daughters.
nice.
Um, but the my ex was just super toxic. Uh, dealt with alcohol, drug addiction, um, and as a young 20 something year old, my mindset was just purely lust focused,
Yeah,
just like I can come home and get buns every night.
yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
like nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
And then, but there was something wrong with that,
yeah,
So
yeah.
I 100% agree.
I think that's again, that's a probably for me. That's a big thing that I hope to instill in a lot of men. I would love to, because I didn't, man. I ain't know. Like you said, I
I
was.
think most men are driven by lust too.
Oh yeah, I know for sure. I was. I mean, I was a. Yeah, it was terrible.
You thought with your second head, not
Yeah,
your first
man.
head.
Yeah, and I didn't know any better. And then, and I hate to say like I ain't know any better, but I really didn't know any better, and everyone around me was doing the same thing. So I didn't have a male figure around me who said, "Nah, this ain't how we
Well, you
do
don't
things."
know what you don't know.
Yeah. So like, even like now, because I have a 2-year-old son, and it's just not how we roll. She's just, but everything from even my whole thought process has changed. Like even the whole my son ain't. What's he finna be? You're not finna date to date. You're finna, you. That's not how we gonna roll in this household. It's just not. There's no cordial just dating to be dating. No. What are you gonna do? Like, no, you need to look for a wife. Is what you're gonna. Is what my kids will learn. Some people are again, and again, this is just my beliefs. It's my thought process of. Luckily, my not luckily, my daughter. My 21-year-old daughter. She got married when she was young. My daughter got married when she was 20 years
Oh,
old.
she's married already?
Yeah, she got married 20 years old.
Oh,
I
wow.
think she actually, yeah, 20 years old when she got married. So, which I was grateful for because I'm not for the whole, I don't want you to wait. Like, no, 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 no. Like, no, 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 no. Because I
You don't
think,
want to wait?
no, 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 I don't believe in that. Because I think I think the reason it takes, if you have an objective and your objective is to find a woman that you wanted to marry, it wouldn't take so
Mm,
long. Like there's plenty of women that I dated, talked to, whatever the word you want to use. I ain't have no. There's no way I would have married them. I knew I wasn't going to marry them. So
mm,
like, if I knew what I was looking for, and I knew I was looking for a wife, oh, I would have found it much quicker. But I just wasn't looking for that. I wasn't looking for that.
well, I think dating is, I'm kind of in the middle because I agree. Um, if you know what you want, I think it goes back to that identity thing too,
Mhm.
knowing what you want and your values. I think the positive when it comes to dating is it's kind of like trying new things. Like you don't know if you
Mhm.
don't like Chinese food if you never tried Chinese
Mhm.
food. So it's like you don't know if somebody will be toxic if you never dealt with it, or you don't know if you'll like this type of person if you never dealt with that?
So so here's kind of what I would say to that. Like for me and where I kind of am in my walk, the way
Hmm.
this would have to work is he would have to meet someone, or even my daughter, that's
Hmm.
on the same. I understand now why, like the Bible talks about marry someone who's equally yoked. Like it would have to be someone,
Equally yoked.
yeah, they say equally yoked, which basically means like as a Christian, you're supposed to marry a Christian, right? That would is
Oh
living
yeah, I
like this.
agree with that as well.
That's like
Yeah.
living. I didn't understand this at first. It made no sense to me, but now I understand it a little more. And I understand it because, like, if he's looking for a wife, the wife is would also be looking for a husband. And from
Hmm.
a biblical standpoint, like when you look at marriage from a biblical standpoint, and then from a what's the other word? I can't think of the word right now. It's
Religious
like
or
so biblical would be like from a religious standpoint, and then how everybody else looks at it, right?
oh, just like a modern
Yeah,
societal
it's
view of
totally
it.
different. It's still like the viewpoints are totally different, and I didn't understand that. So, like from a biblical, I don't know what happened to my camera. From a biblical standpoint, like a marriage is a covenant, meaning once you do it, like you don't break that. There's no
Hmm.
like, we fell out of love. That doesn't exist. Like,
Yeah.
but
But y'all have to be on the same
you have to
page. If you're not,
you
it's
have to be on the same page because
yeah.
there's certain things. I'll give you an example. So I seen this. It's like a post or something the other day, and you know how women sometimes they'll use like sex as like kind of like a tool. Like they'll use it as
Transactional.
yeah, they'll use it
Transaction.
like a card. Like, oh, you're acting up, you don't get no sex, or oh, I got a headache, or oh,
It's
I'm not feeling
transactional,
good.
yeah.
Right? In the Bible, it's not like that. Like it doesn't matter. Like you're there to serve your husband, and wives are there to serve their husband. Like it works both ways. Like you don't
Hmm.
you just wouldn't do. You know what I
You
mean?
serve each other.
Yeah. So again, that's just one specific area, but there's other areas like that. So it's just the whole thing is different. You know what I mean? It's just
Hmm.
different. So, but again, that's just how I choose to raise my two youngest, and yeah. But again, that is not how I was raised. That's not the thought process. But the older you get as a man, like you're not waiting. And then I think as a
You
woman,
said you're not
you're
what?
not going to wait. You're not waiting to have sex.
Oh, the older you get.
Yeah, it's just not happening. And then not
Yeah.
only that, it's just now it's the more partners you have, the more you've tied up your soul with other people. And then the same thing with women. Like,
Mm,
I tell like my wife like this as it's different for men because as a man gets older, a man can always find a wife. That doesn't work that way for women. Like women in their 20s, that's probably when women are in control in their 20s. So when they look the best, that's when they're
their prime.
yeah. But it
Yeah.
starts going downhill like this. So the more
Hmm.
men you've been with, the more kids you have. I'm not saying you can't find somebody, but your choices are going to start to change. They just are.
Yeah,
It,
they
it
narrow.
just
Yeah.
does. It just narrows. So I don't know, but that's definitely a different thought process and a different way than I grew up for sure. But again, it's like learning from all the issues that I dealt with from not doing it that way. You know. So
No, same here, man. Like I was saying, I was just purely lust focused.
yeah,
Um, I didn't even say I loved her for like 3 years.
yeah, I get it, man. But that's how society teaches us. They teach us that's okay. They teach us like all these things are. It's in society. I mean, even getting like a divorce in societies, people have divorce parties. It's kind of crazy. But again, but I didn't understand until someone explained to me, like, because a marriage is a covenant between two people. I didn't know
Mm,
what that meant. And then someone explained to me, like, oh, here's how a covenant worked back in the days. So back in the days, two men would get together, they would slaughter an animal, and then they would face back to back, and they would walk around the animals until they faced each other. Then it would lock arms, and it would basically say, if I basically, what a covenant means is, I'll do whatever for you, and if I don't, may we end up like these dead animals. So it's like a covenant for life. So if
Mm,
we had a covenant, like I was going to protect you, you were going to protect me, we'd slaughter the animals, stand back to back, walk around in a circle till we met face to face, lock arms, and basically, if you call me at 1 a.m. in the morning and you're like, "Hey, I need your help," uh, oh, things.
what?
I don't know. I had a thing come up. Okay. Um, You call me at 1 a.m., I'm there. Like, no question asked. If you need whatever you need financially, like, I have to give it to you. Well, that's the same thing between a husband and a wife. That's what a real
Yeah, but
covenant
people don't
is.
see it like that
No.
today.
And if you
Yeah.
don't see it like that, if you're not treating it like that, it doesn't work like that. Like, and one person
Mm,
can't, like,
yeah.
one person couldn't be like that, like, till death. That's why I
You
say
both had, yeah, you have to be on the same
you both
page.
have to be like that, you know? That's why they say till death do you part. But again, I didn't understand any of that. But once I started understanding that, I'm like, oh well, this makes sense. Even like
Mm,
headship, you know,
which one?
it's called, headship. The the man being the head of the household.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's just an order to that. So like once I started understanding all that and looking at it, I was like, oh okay, well this makes sense. But both people have to be on that page, same page, or it won't work.
100%. What would you want to experience in life if you had all the time and all the money?
What would I want to experience in life if I had all the time?
Or what would you do?
It's probably going to sound like really nerdy, but I would
Go ahead, man.
probably spend the majority of my day like reading.
Really?
Yeah, I would have like the most dopest library ever, and I would spend probably the majority of my day reading, and then I would spend the second half of the day with my wife.
The archives of the universe.
Yeah, I would spend just spending time with myself, God, reading, learning, growing. I shouldn't say I wouldn't spend the second half with my wife. I would spend some of that with my wife, and then I would spend part of that in some sort of coaching or mentorship or something.
Like servitude.
Yeah, because I would want to, you know, give back.
Help
Yeah,
people.
I'd want to help
Yeah.
people get to where I had gotten, because I feel that
I
way
like
now.
that.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's something in people like me and you that we gain fulfillment off of just helping other people.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, because almost even when you said that, I was like, the money is, I mean, I didn't even really think about the money part. Some people would be like,
Mm.
oh, I'll go here.
Yeah, that's the common answer is people just say they travel.
Nah, not
They
it's
go
not it's
everywhere.
not even the money. The thing that really comes is the thing that money one thing I've learned about money is just a tool. That's all it is. Money gives you the
Mm.
ability to make choices. That's really what money does. It just gives you the ability to make choices that you could normally not make. Like just the choice to sit around and read for half the day, that's a choice that most people couldn't afford to do. You know,
Oh, 100%. Yeah, because you'd have to work.
you'd have to work. So then to spend part of
Yeah.
the time with my wife and then spend the other part just mentoring, coaching. That'd be probably my ideal life. That'd be dope. I'll get up super, super early, probably still at 3 a.m. like I do now.
You get up at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Probably like get my gym
What do you
done.
do before everybody's awake?
So my schedule is I get up in the morning. I get up at 3 a.m. First thing I do is go in the Bible, read the Bible, and then after the Bible, I do praise and worship. Then I go in the Bible. Then I do like personal development. Then I go to the gym. Then by the time I get back from the gym, that's usually when my wife is up. which is maybe 8:39. Sometimes she's not up when I get back. She usually gets up at like 9.
You got a whole work day done before.
Yeah. So I get up, I have breakfast with my wife. Usually eat with them with my two youngest kids, and then go jump back online, do some online work, pretty much. Then usually do
See,
lunch.
I'm more of a night owl. I like work uh more at night.
Yeah, nah. I mean, I try to be in bed by 9, but usually it's like 11 o'clock, typically.
Yeah, that's around the same for me.
Yeah.
Wait, so you only get like 5 hours of sleep?
5 hours is lucky. Like I think yesterday I went to bed at like midnight. I try to be to bed. It just 9 never happens. But
Yeah.
usually I'm bed 11. 12 usually the latest. You know.
Well, Tywin, I don't want to fuck your name up,
Nah,
Tywin.
you good.
Uh, you got anything you'd like to share with the audience before we sign off?
Nah, man, it was a great conversation. I always appreciate having good conversations. So this has definitely been a good one. And for anybody that's listening, if you made it this far, kudos to you for that. But I would just say, man, go after it. Just become all that you can become, and don't let anybody or anything stop you. So,
With that, guys, go check out Tywin. Where can people go check you out?
the best place would be either Facebook or Instagram. You can find me at Tywin Kalendike on either platform. It's just Tywin and then Kalandandyk.
Go check them out. And as always, everybody, if you're still here, stay curious, never give up. You got this. Peace.